Hey folks, this is Book Talk with Corbin. I had to immediately get on the air and talk about this. You know, I follow, I think it's called the Libs of TikTok. And what happens is that this white guy, he just posts wokeness, TikTok things, so-called progressive TikTok folk. And it's an absolutely brilliant thing he does. Again, it's called the Libs of TikTok, and all he really does is just post what these white woke folk talk about, trans activists and all like that. And he has very little to say about them because when they talk, when you hear them, when you hear directly from them, you understand and see for yourself their utter madness. And not only their utter madness, but also their objectively racist nonsense. I'm going to directly quote from you one white woman. She posted a TikTok thing talking about how anti-fatness, these are her words, is anti-Blackness. And this is a direct quote. Okay. Anti-fatness is rooted in anti-Blackness. And the reason why people are pursuing thinness is because they are pursuing proximity to whiteness. She continues. The reason why people hate fat people is because people hate black people. And appearing curvy or bigger is associated with blackness, especially black women. The quote continues, and that's why they are disassociated and that's why they are discriminated in the workplace, overly sexualized, and this has gone back for centuries and centuries. So that's what this white woman said. Anti-fatness is anti-Blackness. Again, trying to be thin, as she put it, is a person's effort to gain closer proximity to quote-unquote whiteness. Okay. Let me just give you my quick view on this. That is utter nonsense. Everything that woman says is utter nonsense, but it is typical white racist thinking coming out of left field, coming from the white leftist community. It is typical, objectively white racist thinking as coming from white socialists, cultural Marxists, and what I would call the new communists. It is utter nonsense. When you are out of touch with the broad range and breadth of black political thought or black political thought leaders, it's easy to reach dumb conclusions like this. And it's easy to perpetuate racist nonsense like this. My concern is not so much that a lot of white folks are going to jump on this and give this some sort of consideration and maybe even promote it. My concern is that not enough black folk are aware of how dangerous, ignorant, and stupid this type of thinking is, how it is destructive to us as a people. And why don't we know this is because we're not, more often than not, black folk in the United States of America, at least lately, have not been offered the opportunity to really know, read, and study the broad length and breadth of black political thought, particularly if they are black men, black male intellectuals, black male thought leaders. They are really suppressed unless that black male is like a Roland Martin who's just so much into the back pocket of the Democratic Party, it's not funny. And let me just say this real quickly. If that's what Brother Roland wants to do, he just wants to be in the back pocket of the Democratic Party like that. Hey, God bless him. That's his, hey, do what you got to do, brother. But Roland Martin, by no stretch of the imagination, is reflective of the vast majority, the length and breadth and diversity of black political thought, particularly black male political thought. He is one of many. And he's not the only one that should be known by average black folk throughout this country. Now let me go back. Let me say this. First of all, anti-fatness. Yeah, what's wrong with anti-fatness? What's wrong with being opposed to obesity? What's wrong with being opposed to being overweight? When I had a heart attack, a near fatal heart attack, once I had taken to the hospital, treated, had a stent put in my heart, was told that I'm going to have to take heart medicine for the rest of my life. One of the things the doctor said to me, he says, it is very important for you to lose weight. He didn't tell me to get fat, get fatter. He didn't tell me to put on weight. He said to lose weight. And I did. I lost a decent amount of weight, and I've kept it off. And I have a goal for 2023 to take off more weight. Why? Because it is healthier for me. It is a good health decision. Yes, I'm anti-fat and proud of it. Let me say this too. I have read some great black male intellectuals talk about health. Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu, he's written one good book on health. He was written a little ways back, but it's still relevant. It's still powerful. You need to get it. His publishing company is African American Images, is up there out of Chicago. Another black publisher out of Chicago is Hakeem Adabutu. His publishing company is Third World, I think it's called Third World Press. Check him out. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as you know, he was the leader of the Nation of Islam for many years. He wrote the classic. It's still in print. That book's is probably over 45 years old. It's still in print. How to Eat to Live. And there's a local black man who's put out a good book on health. And I don't have it right now. I can't find it. But when I do, I'm going to do a review on it. When I say local, he's here in Louisville, Kentucky. I have read all those guys' stuff. And not one time did they say obesity's good. At no time did they ever say fatness is good. Their whole focus is on saying to black folk, man, we got to get this health thing together. We are disproportionately dying from things like diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, because of the way we're eating, the stuff we're eating. It's almost like we're killing ourselves. We have to change our eating habits. We have to eat healthier, better. And this is their messages this is the message to black folk. And at no time did they ever say, oh, gain more weight, become obese, become fat. Being overweight's good. Never. I mean, if it's there, if you can read How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and show me where in that book he's talking about how good obesity is. You got to show me that. You got to take me to Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu's book and show me in his books on health for black folk, where he says, ooh, being fat is good. Being fat is great. You know, the one way to fight white racism or white supremacy is to put on weight. I mean, come on. It's not there. But of course, you see the white cultural Marxists, they only view us as victims. We have to be victims. They don't view us as intellectuals, as scholars, as researchers. They don't think that we've been discussing things for decades, and going back centuries. They have no respect whatsoever for black intellectual thought. They have no respect whatsoever for our black intellectual leaders, our black intellectual thought leaders. Part of the reason why is that many of them are men, and we're not. And you notice one thing the Democratic Party is saying lately is that, oh, we need to vote like a black woman. Think about that. What does that mean? I tell you, a lot of black women, they vote liberal, very, very liberal. So of course they want that. But black men, nah, we don't vote like that. We don't think like that. We try to sort of take emotionalism and irrationality out of our thinking. Again, our leading intellectuals, scholars, researchers are black men. Black men. Brothers, thinking, researching, reading. Black men like Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu, Dr. Hakeem Adabutu, and many other black intellectuals who I don't even agree with, but they're out there. You got people like Du Bois, the late Dr. Manning Marable, Booker T. Washington. A lot of times people talk about Booker T. Washington. They only talk about Up From Slavery. He published other books. Amazing stuff. So, I had to put that out there. Of course, there's a lot more I can say about that whole comment, that whole statement there. But I thought it was important to say what I've said so far. And in future podcasts, I'm going to talk about other books, give you the titles and the dates they were published, and make some comment that black intellectuals, black male intellectuals have put out about health. And hey, oddly enough, again, they're focused on trying to get black folk to do better as far as eating habits are concerned and health is concerned. Many of these things they talk about, man, it's good for white folk too. It's good for white folk too. They talk about things like, hey, watch this. Stop eating so much processed food. Stop eating so much junk food. Drink more water. Exercise, even if it's just walking every day. Do it. Doing a few push-ups maybe and sit-ups, but definitely, walking. At least do that much. Get out there, get that fresh air. Get out there and get that sun. Get some of that sun, that natural vitamin D. Okay? Don't always depend upon prescriptions to make you healthier. Develop a natural immunity. Hey, man, that's good for white folk too. That's good for white folk too. But we gotta, as black people, as black folk, and I'm speaking to black folk right now. Y'all white folk can listen. I don't have a problem with that, because I got nothing to hide. Nothing I'm ashamed of. I'm saying to black folk, man, we got to we got to guard ourselves against these white cultural Marxists. They're nuts. They're insane. I'm not saying ban them or censor them or anything like that. I'm not saying anything like that. But what I'm saying is that we hear them. Let's listen to them, try to understand what they're saying, but understand that they're objectively racist, and what they're talking about is not beneficial to the uplift of black folk in the United States of America. It's not. It's not. Crouching obesity, celebration of obesity, upholding obesity as some sort of fight against white supremacy or as some sort of fight for the uplift of black people. That's utterly dumb. And I'm going to say this to black folk too. If you're 20, 30, 50, 100, 200 pounds overweight, that's bad. Drop that weight. Period. When next time you have an urge to eat, go eat a carrot. Drop the cookies. Next time you get thirsty, look for that water. Don't go for that soda. Next time you're at a buffet, hey, stop after the second or third plate. I mean, seriously. Get over this nonsense about, I want to celebrate obesity. I want to celebrate poor health. Stop being that Lizzo type. Come on, man. It's ridiculous. Are you serious? Are you serious? Hey, this is Book Talk with Corbin. I'm your host. I want to thank you for listening to me. Please go to my website, booktalkwithcorbin.com. And also you can find me, same title. And please sign up, become a subscriber to my YouTube channel.